Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be doing another Disney debate. Is Mufasa the real villain in The Lion King? The 1994 version, by the way. We've got Emily and Ellie who are against it, and Grace says Mufasa is the real villain. So it's going to get heated up. It's just a disclaimer. Very, very hot and heated and intense and a lot of shouting going on, so get prepared. Yeah,
most likely.
So get prepared for that and let us know in the comments what you think. Who was the real villain?
Yeah, I just want to say before we start, I am probably going to shout a bit because, as you all know, The Lion King is my favorite movie, so I'm going to get very defensive.
It's expected.
Yeah.
Is this going to end friendships? Do we do this debate?
We do.
Whoa! Now look, Grace.
What
I'm sorry for whatever is coming your way right now. It was lovely knowing you. I will arrange your funeral. Lovely.
Why are we talking about you?
Because you look like you were about
funerals
to
like before.
murder her.
Aww.
Yeah. We haven't even started. Okay. All right. Are we ready?
No.
Yes, Ellie. Yes, we're on the right side. Okay.
I think I want to be on it.
Okay. Right. So the debate is Mufasa the real villain in The Lion King? So the two key words being real villain. So is the assumption here that Mufasa is the main villain, but Scar is a villain, or is he not a villain?
He was made to be a villain. And this leads to one of my first points, unless you are happy to go first.
No, I just want to get that. Okay, so I've just got so many points why Mufasa is good. I mean, saying that, we shouldn't expect any character or any person to be just good, like 100% good, because that doesn't exist. So, of course, Mufasa has his flaws too, but I think on the most, like, he's good. So my first thing is that he protected the Pride Lands. So he literally exiled the hyenas who were overeating and causing a problem with the food chain.
Okay, well, okay. Now, here's one thing that really bugs me. Now, I did love The Lion King when I was young, but when I did a little research, it just changed my whole mind. So, just to clarify, that when he did ban the whole hyenas to the elephant graveyard, he basically just made them go to a place where there's no food, no water. He's basically making them going to extinction. That's one of the cruel things anyone could do. He's basically going to wipe out an entire species. When the hyenas, they may have maybe over hunting, maybe, but still that doesn't give them a reason to ban the whole species and make them going to starve. Really?
Okay, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
And there's evidence. Sazu does call them slobbering, mangy, stupid poachers. So it does really seem that they are hunting more than what they need to eat, more than what is necessary. And so what that will do is it will bring complete destruction to the food chain. So it's not. So yeah, they're getting to eat and they're killing more than they need. But they are also having an effect on other animals and other species and to the whole circle of life. And so they were banished to the elephant graveyard where there's actually, like you said, a shortage of food and water. There's a shortage, but that doesn't mean that there isn't any food and water. But this is like teaching them a lesson. And yes, it's not fair.
There's nothing there. Scar's the only one who actually helps them, who provides them with food and water. Mufasa does nothing. Scar's the one who actually tries to help them.
So then we get into this debate of minority versus majority. So you seem to really favor the minority. But the thing is, I can understand if you're saying that it was just a few hyenas or something, but it seems like it was the whole entire population, and they were having an effect on other animals. They were killing animals for no reason. They didn't even need to eat them.
No,
They
but
had enough, and they were just
Mufasa could
killing
have
them.
like tried to reason with them, tell them not to overhunt. He's a reasonable lion.
Do you not think he might have done that
apparently on the
already?
film. So why doesn't he try to do that with the hyenas?
But I'm pretty sure he probably did. That was probably what he did first. I don't think he would have
Yeah,
outright
but we don't
banned
know,
them.
do we?
Yeah,
But we
but
don't. Sorry, go on, Ellen.
Didn't Scar sorry, I felt really bad interrupting them. Didn't Scar let them run free anyways? He let them destroy the Pride Lands. When Simba went back, it was all destroyed. He didn't maintain it.
Because
No,
they were
because Scar
overeating.
promised them a feast.
A
Mufasa
feast?
maybe tried to put them in order for the circle of life. Scar went overboard, saying he wants to use them to give himself power.
Yeah, but that really does sound like Scar's a villain then, doesn't it?
Okay, this leads to a second point of mine. So, in the Disney World storybooks, which is based from the animated film called A Tale of Two Brothers, based on Mufasa and Scar, which isn't his real name. I forgot his real name, but let's just call him Scar. So when they were young, Scar accidentally got himself cut on the eye, as we all know, and Mufasa was the one who nicknamed him Scar, and he was being treated badly. It's like, okay, it's like Thor being just teasing around and mocking around and being like trying to be the self-centered of everyone and puts Loki aside, pushing Loki into his own shadow. That's what Mufasa did to Scar during their childhood. And there's proof in that book. So Mufasa didn't really treat Scar as a good brother. So we can see how Scar grew up alone, isolated, and a thirst for power because he wants to have a thirst for attention. If he thinks that if he gets power, he gets attention, he gets what he deserves. So basically, Scar is made through Mufasa's mistakes.
Yes, okay, I can understand that. I mean, yes, you're right. If that is in the book, which I haven't read myself personally, so I don't really know. But saying that still doesn't give Scar the right to do everything that he did in the actual movie. That doesn't give anybody the right. Just because you were badly treated before does not give you the right to start doing such horrible stuff. So what did he do? He literally killed Mufasa. He tried to kill his own nephew.
Well, he actually tried to make other people kill him for himself, but yeah,
but he
well, at the same time, Mufasa should have taken a bit more responsibility because if he was going to become king, he should have seen his own mistakes was affecting his own brother, who was being left out in the shadows, and he was just not treated good and well. So obviously that's going to lead into her.
But to be honest, that is on the book. So we don't actually know how much, like, what is the actual link between the movie and the book? Like, did the people who wrote the movie, did they also write the book? Did they not? Is this like
no? But
like,
it has the same characters and it has the same animation in it.
But just because it has the same characters, that doesn't really mean that is the actual backstory. So in actual fact, we don't know. This could just be one of those, like books that are like based, but it's not actually like a pre-story.
Yeah, but it's from the same company, so obviously it must mean something.
But I still don't think it's. Okay, so I can see that, but I still think that. Okay, so I can understand why you're saying that Mufasa isn't a good person, that he is the real villain.
Yeah, because he made Scar into the villain. If Mufasa didn't kind of bully him or be mean to his brother, then maybe Scar would have been a villain in the first place, and then ruin things, and everything happened in the film. Done. Case closed.
If we take it like that, then that can be meant for like tons of people, because tons of people are exactly the same. They do such horrible stuff to other people, and then you're saying that it's okay for those people that are being victimized. It's okay for them to do like
No,
evil
I'm not saying
stuff.
it's okay, but you can show a bit empathy, like sympathy for Scar, and you can also see why he's banned because of his brother from the book, and how Mufasa takes a huge part in it.
Yes, but you were saying that Mufasa is the real villain in the movie.
Yeah, but it's like
Right.
a butterfly effect. You expect one person, you expect another, and all that. So Mufasa bullied Scar. Scar grew up to be a villain, and Scar killed Mufasa, and then try to hurt Simba and take over the Pride Lands. That's how it works. Villains aren't born; they're made, and Scar was made through his childhood trauma, through Mufasa bullying him and giving him a cool nickname, which would be remembered by tons of people because it's literally there, the scar.
I'm pretty sure what I've also heard from this book, from what I've heard, was that before that, Scar was actually trying to harm Mufasa before he actually got that scar. That is how he got that scar.
Yeah, because Mufasa was annoying him, so Scar was trying to get him.
No, it wasn't that. It was the fact that their father was not giving any attention to Scar. So if we are saying that, so then we are saying that Mufasa is not the villain.
So if we link this point to the Marvel Thor and Odin and Loki, like Odin's giving more attention to Thor than Loki, and Loki feels left out. He wants to show how strong he is, or he's feeling jealous. I mean, we understand that. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's wrong. It's bad. But we can. It's reasonable, and we can see why he did it. He wants to be noticed. No one doesn't want to be noticed.
Yeah, we can see that, but that does not justify his actions. That does not give someone the right to do stuff like that. It doesn't.
But Mufasa isn't very. He wasn't very.
But it wasn't Mufasa. That's the point
I'm trying to. He was a part of it.
Scar was gonna kill Mufasa. That was what was gonna happen. That is literally how Scar got his
well, I'm pretty sure
because
Mufasa kind of had it coming somehow, but
so what you're saying here is that some people deserve to die.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying,
well, that's what you just said. You just said Mufasa had it coming.
People. I'm just saying, like, don't bully people.
Okay.
He didn't bully. It was their father. It was their father, because their father.
Don't favor one child. Otherwise, you might grow up to kill the other.
But that's not part of the debate, though. Is the thing.
Okay. Can I go to my next point, please?
Okay.
All right. So in the entire film, no, from the beginning, not just in the animated, but in the remake, but let's focus on the animated, we only see two male lions, Mufasa and Scar. Now for that, there's a theory states that Mufasa has banned all the other male lions, not because it's links to the natural wildlife of lions in Africa and other places, but because we think that Mufasa doesn't want to have a competition with himself, so he banned all the lions away, just so he can get all the female lioness to himself.
Yeah, but
you can see why that's.
Yes, I can see why that's a horrible thing, but this is just a theory. There is no actual confirmation of that, so we cannot.
It makes sense.
Base that Mufasa is the real villain based on a theory which has no like confirmation from the writers and the creators of the movie. So from that, we can't solely just base that Mufasa is the real villain just from that.
No, I'm not saying based
fair.
on just that. I'm just saying that's another point. Like, because he doesn't want a competition. He wants, as a king, because let's face it, all kings can be a bit greedy. So maybe at some point he doesn't want to face competition. He bans all the male lions away, except for his brother, because he already thought he was weak. And that's what he did. Well, that's what I think he did.
I think being the key word.
Have you got any points you want to share, Emily?
Do you want to keep going, or?
I want to see what you have.
Okay.
Or you got nothing.
So a point for why I think Mufasa was good. So he was actually a good ruler, and he was respected. He actually respected the circle of life. So he says this to Simba. Everything you see exists together in the delicate balance. As king, you need to understand that balance and respect all the creatures, from the crawling ant to the leaping antelope. When we die, our bodies become the grass, and the antelope eat the grass. And so we are all connected in the great circle of life. We can literally just see from that he actually respects every single creature. Now, I don't think Scar respected creatures at all.
Whoa.
Because if he did, he would have stopped the hyenas. He would have stopped the hyenas from overeating when he became king, but he didn't. So it does really seem like he doesn't really care for the other creatures. It's just all personal, and it's all about him.
Okay, two things. One, Mufasa did not respect all other creatures because he did not respect the hyenas, who he banned and they were going to lead to extinction. And secondly, Scar never cared because he felt like no one cared about him.
Okay, so for your first point, you said that he didn't respect all creatures. Yes, okay, so you are right. He banned the hyenas, and he banned them to a place where there was a shortage of food and water, like we discussed before. But he did that for all of the other creatures to make sure that they actually didn't go extinct themselves. So it was either the hyenas versus all the other animals. And I mean, I don't know how many people are going to say they'd rather just have the hyenas exist rather than all the other creatures. Because like Ellie said as well before, we see that when Mufasa dies and then Scar becomes the king, and then we see what happens to the Pride Lands. There are literally carcasses everywhere. It's horrible. There are no animals. Like, the lionesses are finding it hard to find food. Sarabi literally goes, Scar, there is no food.
Yeah, but at the beginning, that's still no reason to leave the hyenas to die, is it?
But he wasn't. There was a shortage.
He did.
A shortage does not necessarily mean that there wasn't anything. It means that there wasn't enough. And that was to teach them a lesson. They probably had eaten already enough, so that they had already enough stuff already within their bodies. So they didn't really probably need that much more. I mean, we don't really know. Perhaps he was thinking, like, in a few years' time, that would have been enough. They would have learned their lesson.
Yeah, but how would he know? He probably wouldn't come round. The only creature that does come round is Scar.
But I still think Mufasa made the right call. It was either a sacrifice.
He could have still tried to reason with them, tell them you have to do this in order to.
But you saw how it was with reasoning. They are also quite like Scar. They are also just thinking about themselves.
No, but they call him like.
But they would.
For something.
I'm pretty sure they would not care that they were killing more animals than necessary. Yes, so I still think that Mufasa made the right decision there with banning them. And
Do you think he made the right decision to lead an entire species out of the Pride Lands with no food, no water?
not
and to lead
shortage,
them
a
to his
shortage.
Yeah, but they're still going to die.
They didn't die though. They were fine. They seemed okay.
But they still didn't have any food.
Well, how were there so many hyenas still alive?
During that scene, did you see any sign of food in that land, in the dark, in those shadow areas? No. There was in the elephant graveyard, there was no sign of water. The only sign was like acid or something. And
how were they still alive then? How were they still alive? We saw
because
tons of them. Scar did not provide that much food. We saw this only once, didn't we? That he brought like some sort of leg or something, and that was only enough.
But he must have done a lot to help them alive.
That only fed 3 of them. What about the rest? They were all okay. I have a feeling that for some way they were getting some sort of food or something.
Scar must have like dragged some animals into the graveyard. Like he somehow dragged Simba and Nala to there, like kind of like tricked them into going. So he must have done something.
But Scar even says that that the difference between him and Mufasa is that Mufasa got all the strength in the family and that he got all the brains. So how did Scar even take down a zebra or whatever it was? Like, I just can't picture it. So he must have taken the food from something that was hunted by the lionesses, taken a little bit and given it over. So I doubt he took down like an antelope or something.
When we see Mufasa as a spirit in the clouds and he's talking to adult Simba, why didn't he tell Simba that it was Scar who killed him instead of letting Simba continue thinking that it was his fault that led to his father's death? He could have maybe...
Yeah, you're right. He could have, but that was something that Simba had to discover on his own, and he did. The whole reason his dad came was that he was having...
I wouldn't let my own child go on thinking that she's the reason for, say, my death, when it's actually someone else. That would be torture.
But who knows? There was probably some sort of rules. There was probably something like, you can't say this, you can't say that, but we don't know.
If told Simba would go on saying like, Scar, I know it was you who killed my father.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't got the brains. That just means he didn't say something. That doesn't mean
that was a stupid decision.
That's the decision. We're humans. We make stupid decisions.
But he made like tons of bad decisions.
So loads of characters do. There is no character in the Disney universe or anything that hasn't made any mistakes at all. Every single character makes some sort of mistake.
Those around him.
It wasn't that bad. No, Mufasa probably knew that Simba was he knew that Simba was gonna return. And when Simba returns, he knew what was gonna happen.
But you wouldn't know that you can't predict something that big.
But who knows? He was a ghost. Who knows what could have happened? Who knows like how this whole system works? We don't know. We can't base this. Who knows? We don't even know if that really was Mufasa. What if that was just some like dream or something? Who knows? We don't really know.
Then that would be really cruel, whoever did that to Simba, thinking it was actually his father.
I don't know. We don't know. But I don't think that's enough evidence to suggest that Mufasa doesn't have brains.
Okay, but I'm not saying but including all those points about dumb decisions that led to other characters, other people around him get hurt badly by those decisions. So first, after Scar got the actual Scar, he nicknamed him and being cruel to him afterwards, bullying him by that cruel nickname. Second, he didn't trust his son for the graveyard. He didn't tell Simba that his brother killed him and stop this torture. Then he banned a whole species. Come on, that's literally tons of things that a leader should not do. A leader should trust people, should learn how to be reasonable, trying to like become allies instead of become enemies with other species. And he shouldn't bully Scar, because obviously he should have known that Scar was going to become a hatred character.
Ellie, do you want to say anything? You've been fairly quiet.
I feel like I'm gonna stay quiet.
No.
In this
You're on
corner.
my
No,
side.
I'm genuinely terrified of both of you right now. So I'm just gonna stay quiet. You said all my points, Emily. We'll go with that. Yeah, carry on. I'm no, not this time. I'm not dying today. I apologize.
Okay. So I'm going to say now why I think Scar is bad, and so why I think he actually is the real villain in the movie. So we can see that the whole reason for why Scar did all of this stuff is that he wanted to be king. He was jealous of Mufasa for actually being king because he was first in line. And then when he found out Simba had a son, when Mufasa had a son, Simba, he knew that Simba would be next in line. And so that was his whole reason for all of the stuff that he did. So the first evil thing that we know that he did in the movie was that he tricked Simba into going into the elephant's graveyard. So he goes, all the more reason for me to be protective. An elephant graveyard is no place for a young prince. Oops. So that's Scar. So he literally knows that Simba is so curious. He wants to know. And at a young age, we all are. We all want to, find out more. And that is no different with Simba. So that is why Simba took Nala into the forbidden elephant's graveyard, where then they were chased by the hyenas. But luckily, Mufasa saves them. So that is literally. So he probably was thinking about that. That was some planning from before, for sure. I think. So, I mean, I just think that was bad. But it gets worse. That's not the evilest thing he did. So he murdered his actual own brother. He set the whole trap up. I mean, you can't get any evil than that, killing your own brother or killing anybody for that matter. So he literally, Mufasa is hanging. He's asking Scar for help, and all that Scar can go is like, long live the king, and then he lets go of Mufasa's paws, and Mufasa falls to his death. And I mean, that's horrible. And the thing is, none of that would have happened if Scar hadn't taken Simba to that place. And then afterwards, it doesn't end there. He made a young Simba believe that the death of Mufasa was his fault. And he actually told him to leave Pride Rock. So Simba he's still a child. He's still a cub. And so he felt really guilty himself because he sees his dad's dead. And he actually thinks, gosh, it's my fault because I was in that place and I needed saving. And so my dad came and saved me, but he ended up dying. And Scar doesn't help. He literally goes, but the king is dead. And if it weren't for you, he'd still be alive. Run away, Simba. Run away and never return. Like, to do that to a young child. Okay, so from what you were saying before, the whole like Mufasa wasn't treating Scar right, but that doesn't mean that Scar should literally do that to Simba. That's horrible to someone innocent who wasn't even involved, who didn't even know all of these other stuff that happened before. And it's horrible.
I know what Scar did was absolutely horrible. No, I couldn't agree with you more. But I know you say I'm not linking it to the book, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But say like if that story is true, if Scar was being mocked or bullied by Mufasa by call nickname Scar and all that, being humiliated. That anger builds up, and that's gonna lead him to be violent or manipulative. So all that drama is gonna grow. It's going to grow. It's going to grow and make Scar worse eventually. And that we do see that eventually, from what you said, from all the terrible things he did.
Yes, but basing it solely on the movie, we can see that, well, yes, okay, so Mufasa he banished a whole species into the elephant graveyard. And he did other stuff, I'm sure. But we can see that there's a lot more stuff that Scar has done that really does pin him as the real villain.
Okay. One thing I did remember, I missed a point here, but if say if you have two brothers arguing or knocking heads, you try to talk out your issues, try to come in terms, and I try to fix things. In the beginning, when we hear like Mufasa saying, "Don't turn your back on me, Scar," and Scar says, "Oh no, Mufasa, perhaps you shouldn't turn your back on me." Mufasa straight away go into a aggressive mode, roars and says, "Is that a challenge?" Like he goes in for a straight defense. Like if he sees his brother like being trouble or maybe having issues towards each other, Mufasa should just like maybe just reason with Scar, maybe trying to talk to him, like saying like, if something's wrong, just talk to me, or I'm sorry if I hurt you or somehow. But like he straight away goes in for like a challenge, like for a fight against Scar if anybody threatens him.
You're right, because he got threatened, he got provoked. That wouldn't have happened if Scar hadn't said that. Scar said that, and that provoked Mufasa. Mufasa was already angry with Scar for missing the ceremony for his nephew.
Oh, that
And
doesn't
then,
mean you have to go like say like if my sister missed like my daughter's christening and she threatened me, I wouldn't be going into like a fight mode saying like, I'm gonna punch
but
you
they
for
are
me.
lions. They aren't human. They are lions. Their behavior is completely different.
Okay. That links to another point I said before when I mentioned about like there's no male lions in the Pinelands, because in the nature world there's only one male lion in one pride with female lions. That's because one male leader pushes away all other male lions, so he doesn't have to be in competition. And you said that's nothing because it's based on the film. We don't know that for sure.
Based on theory.
No, but it's not that, but it's also linked because that's how in the natural world, that's how it works. That's what they do in real life. That's how lions work. That's what they do in life. So this is what probably happened in the film as well.
Well, in that case, then what's the problem?
But
That doesn't mean that he's a bad leader, does it?
no, but he doesn't want anyone to go up against him in the competition. He banned all male lions away so he can have all the female lionesses, like lionesses, with for himself. That's a bit greedy. That's like one man push a bunch of other men away so he can have all the women for himself.
Then if that is literally how it is, because I'm not really sure what actually happens with lions like in nature and stuff. I don't know. I don't really know much.
No, but
if you are right in saying that, then that happens.
No, but
that doesn't make him a villain for doing that. If that is how your species has been all the time.
But that shows like Mufasa can be aggressive and violent even towards his own brother.
But he never killed him. Scar actually killed Mufasa.
But that could show you that maybe in their own time, maybe Mufasa may have like beaten him or like tried to pick a fight.
Well, then
If he
Scar would have
feels
left.
maybe
Scar didn't
not-
leave.
Pardon?
Why wouldn't have Scar left then? If Scar was being treated so badly, he would have left. There would have been no reason for him to
Because it
stay.
was his home as well. He wouldn't leave his own home.
Why not? If you're being treated badly,
Hold on,
you
hold
would
on.
stay.
That's like Cinderella should have left her own home when she was being abused by her stepmother and stepsisters.
But that is completely different.
No, not because there's a species.
That is completely no, not because of that. Because the difference is the actual place, the actual time. Animals and humans are completely different. Cinderella was being badly treated by her stepmother and her stepsisters, but she had nowhere else to go. If she went, she would have just been sleeping outside on the road somewhere or something. She would have had nowhere. But lions are completely different. They can find somewhere else to go.
No, but we see in the film that when Simba left, he was left in the desert. He had nowhere to go.
He wasn't
was
left in the
it's like-
desert. He ran.
No.
He was
not
running
left, but like
away
he was
because
running along
Scar
and
tried to have
and
his
he nearly
nephew
died in the
killed.
desert. That could happen to Scar if he left at that time when he was
Scar would have
young.
been fine. Scar was older. Simba was tired. The only reason why Simba ran was because the hyenas were chasing him, because someone ordered them to kill him. And who was that someone? It was Scar. Scar tried to have his nephew killed as well. Even after going run away and never return, he was like, no,
Which
that's not
wasn't-
enough.
which-
I need
which-
to make sure that no one else comes back to challenge me. And so that is why he tried to have his nephew, a young, defenseless cub, killed. He literally goes, kill him, to the hyenas. And they don't stop. They literally chase him. And Simba is literally, he's feeling guilty. He's tired. He's young. If you take a child running and compare it to an adult running, who's faster? The adult is faster. So it would have been difficult. He is exhausted. He's just trying to stay alive. He doesn't want to get killed. Yeah, okay. So this just goes back to what we said before about when Scar actually became king. So the Pride Rock wasn't actually the same as what it was before Scar became king. So we can see that as soon as Scar became king and then Simba returns, we can see that imagery of the Pride Lands. We can see that the animals were left to starve. There was no water, there were literally no animals anyway. It was so miserable looking. We can literally see that Nala said to Simba, he let the hyenas take over the Pride Lands. Everything's destroyed. There's no food, no water. Simba, if you don't do something soon, everyone will starve. So we can literally see that it's got to a state where all that's left in the Pride Lands are the hyenas and the lionesses. And I'm sure what would have happened next was that the hyenas would have started to kill the lionesses, and Scar wouldn't have said anything because it doesn't bother him. He doesn't care. He just wanted to be king. And even then, Sarabi to Scar goes, Scar, there is no food. The herds have moved on. The herds are scared now because they know that the hyenas are attacking them. They're overeating again. They are killing unnecessarily. And so they have literally left the Pride Lands and they've moved on. And then what does Scar say? He goes, I'm the king. I can do whatever I want. Like, what kind of... That is not how a king should be. A king should be looking after his people, or in this case, the other animals who are in the land. But that's not how Scar was. It was just about him. I'm not even sure why he wanted to be king. I guess it's just the thought of having that power and stuff, because we don't actually see him do anything apart from just be king.
That's all.
But that doesn't give you the right to do all of that he did. He killed his brother.
No, but that's
He tried to kill Simba.
If he could be
twice.
king, he can have the same appreciation as Mufasa has, or maybe more.
But
That's
if
what
he
he
had
believed.
just been a good person at the beginning, it would have been fine.
He wasn't a good person at the beginning because he was probably treated badly.
But we can't. But everybody could have been treated badly.
Yeah.
The thing is, if everybody's being treated badly, then no one can no, there's no reason for anybody to be good then. We can all be horrible people then. Like, it just goes into that then. And what I started off with saying is that actually that we can't expect any single character to be perfect, because at the end of the day, we ourselves aren't perfect. Like, we make mistakes and stuff. And so we can't expect that Mufasa should be 100% like good. And I'm not saying he was 100% good. I am sure there were terrible stuff he did. But what I am trying to say is that in The Lion King, in the movie, that Scar is actually the real villain. It isn't Mufasa.
So guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated and see our other debates like Disney and Marvel. Hope you guys enjoy this. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.